Welcome to the Teacher's Guide to Best Tiered Instruction. This video is about Grade 5 Benchmark NSO 1.1, which is expressed how the value of a digit in a multi-digit number with decimals to the thousands changes if the digit moves one or more places to the left or right. This previously builds on Grade 4 NSO 1.1. The only difference is now it will move one or more places. Begin by having students go back and review the base 10 blocks, which could represent whole numbers or decimals. The goal here is to just get them starting to talk with the sentences of comparing the place values. Then I introduce decimals utilizing money, where we still use the same simple vocab to compare the two before adding in our place values. Fourth grade went up to the hundredths place. Fifth grade goes up to the thousandths place. But this is a great review of fourth grade. Now we reintroduce the vocab they should have of 1/10 of, which essentially is the same thing as saying 10 times less. On the back of each of these, I have written the math that is supposed to happen to prove the statement true or false. Now, in fifth grade, we're introduced to 100 times more or greater or 100 times less. It is based on the understanding that in our place value, it is built off of base 10, which means we need to multiply or divide by 10 to get to the previous or next place value. After some practice, now we introduce 100th of, which, very similar to 1/10 of, is the exact same thing as 100 times less. This is a great real-world connection, especially since in fifth grade we go to the thousandths place, but this is a great review of real-world money. After using the manipulatives, we're going to utilize the place value chart along with the sentence stem choices. Here, we need to focus on 10 times more and greater with having students say the place value, the choice, and then the next place value that would prove true. This is a little tricky for students sometimes because the place value on the left is greater, but when we use the 1/10 of or 100th of, the opposite would be true. Then we move into 100 times more or greater, which means we're moving two place values apart. Having students then use the place values to create sentences that are true is a great tool. After they've created true sentences, it's very easy to show students the inverse sentence of a previous one. Utilizing the math on the back would definitely help with the equations to check and make sure the sentence is true. However, students usually struggle with this because they're used to solving equations from left to right. So it's important that they understand the word I start with actually is the answer to the math that I'm doing. Now we progress students into writing and creating their sentences utilizing a number. In this number, I see the digit 4 repeats, but it's in two different place values. This is a great review of what a digit is versus the value of a digit. If students can decompose using expanded form, then they usually have more success when choosing the correct choice for the middle. But when the digit is the same in both blanks, that means that we're also comparing place values. Now we're focused on the 3. The 3 is two place values apart, so we're still using 100, but now the digit, I need to focus on which place value would make the statement true. Here I give them a number where all of the digits are the same, but they all have different values depending on where they are in the number. So we're going to pull out 4s, but now students have the flexibility of creating a true sentence, depending on which place values they've chosen, as well as which sentence stem choice. You could provide students with that choice and have them choose the place value, or you could give them one place value and have them figure out the choice in the other place value. Next, we're going to compare digits that are in two different numbers. So here I'm focusing on the 2 in each of the numbers, the 2 in the bottom number, as well as the 2 in the top number. Again, using expanded form and value of the digit could easily help students compare these two 2s. But I also want to utilize place value language as they're choosing their sentence stem choice. In this activity, students are given a place value chart and a digit card. They must then follow the directions given with the digit. This really shows how digits move from left to right, not the decimal. Students need to understand that digits change because the value changes. As you are doing this, you want to think new versus old. What is the new number I got? And that is blank of the number I originally started with. So you could have students just move the digit and have a conversation, or you could also have them record, or you can record all of their findings. This little tool is just a laminated piece of paper, and you use an X-Acto knife to cut out the windows so that they can slide to the left and right. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you learned a few new tricks to teach this benchmark or continue it from fourth grade. Remember that you can always scaffold down before building onto the new, especially for a complicated benchmark such as this. If you have any ideas, please feel free to share.